on to conduct of business. Item 10A, adopt a resolution authorizing the purchase of a Mainstar Inc. computer maintenance management system software in the amount of $45,000. Laura?
Honorable Mayor, council members, good evening. The city provides water, sewer, stormwater, and transportation services to our residents. To be able to provide those services, the city relies on a very comprehensive system. The estimated value of that system is more than $500 billion, around $600 million. To be able to increase the efficiency, maintaining that system, to perform at the expected level, and also to minimize cost in the long term, the city is using many tools and management tools. One of those tools is the computerized maintenance management system, which is an electronic tool to help us manage those complicated, complex systems. Last month in October, I provided you with a comprehensive presentation on the benefit, history of implementation, and overall cost of implementing the CMMS system in the city. At that time was emphasized the main benefit obtained by the implementation of the system, such as eliminating the need for paper and pencil manual record keeping. You see in most of the offices, including medical office, if you go, that they are not any longer using paper folders or files. They are using centralized electronic information system. This CMMS system provides actually the same level of centralized system information for us on our systems. Also, proactively programs preventive maintenance activities for those systems. Generate work orders, like when the sewer lines need to be cleaned, or also will generate work orders for water, like when water needs to turn on or off. Also, in the same time, meets regulatory requirements and compliance with those requirements. It is in line with industry standard and trends and best management practices. Right now, it is how I informed you a month ago. Right now, this CMMS system is fully implemented in sewer and included in our budget for this year, and it's our intent to extend the implementation of the system in water to manage our water system. In 2012, Mainstar went to a web-based operating system, which really means that for that point on, if the update will be implemented, all of our employees can access the system and the information from on-site using laptops. Exactly how you see many all over in the industry, like when somebody comes to replace your water heater, they are basically able to update the work order and to seek information through their laptop on site. That basically will create the same kind of flexibility and opportunity for our employee. Or another example would be if they are managing or they are responding to a SSO, then in the field, they would be able to use their laptop and to see where is the closest discharge for our sewer storm system, and to be able to better capture the overflow, the sewer overflow before that will reach any creek or water. The cost of this web-based update is $45,000. This is a one-time investment of the upgrade. And after the implementation of the update, will be a ongoing yearly cost around $36,000, $18,000 for sewer, $18,000 for water. That cost will be on ongoing basis. In addition to those certain yearly cost, any replacement of those laptops or any additional training or any future upgrade of the system, which none of us are aware of today, those will be ongoing additional cost as to relates to the implementation to this update. I have here Dennis Bush with me, who enjoyed the benefit of full implementation of the system in sewer already, and also Mark Reinhardt, who is anxious to implement the system in water, and Eric Jackson, who is helping us with the ongoing management of the system. My recommendation for you to approve the purchase of the upgrade of web-based CMMS system. I am available for any question.
Any questions for staff? Ken?
It's good we have IT here, because my question is MainStar the best available system, for this app, for your use?
This question was asked in the beginning when the city, in 2007, when CMMS MainStar system was purchased. The city went through a pretty lengthy selection process, and at that time, the choice was to go with this system, which meet the expectation and of the city. A few years ago was that question asked again. This is still the best system for us, and discussing with IT, checking with other agencies around us, our answer was still that the system working very well for sewer, meets our need, provides the information needed for us, and no reason for us to change at this time. That was
that leads me to saying that this is more than $45,000. This is an investment. This is an ongoing licensing and things. And 5 years from now, they come out with something more improved, of which we're in deep, and we have no choice but to
Yes.
To upgrade again.
Yes.
Yeah. So if we're comfortable with that, that's part of the recommendation.
Yes, was discussed among staff many times, and is fully implemented in sewer, meets our need, is our intent. If you are supporting to extend then this system to water this year, and then storm is the next, and also street. Our fleet already has a specialized software system, and it's not our intent to extend this specific software for fleet.
Thank you.
Rico?
This is one of the systems I've had questions on in the last couple of years. I know, as it was told, it'd still be coming back in January for further detail and review and examination. I'm feeling this should be waiting until that time. I know, as we heard, Mark's anxious, and this would extend the program, but being anxious is great, and I appreciate your enthusiasm. but also accountability and making sure that this is the effect and the turn on the investment and the ongoing license and the other things that we're going to extend to. I think meat deserves more look. The January, as I think, is a much better time to have this reviewed than start here and then continue it again and then bring it back up to January. So I'm not in favor at this time with what I know.
Anything else? Okay.
Can I ask my colleague to elaborate a little more on why he would like to hold off till January for this?
Through the chair, my understanding is that, as was brought up at the last time when we talked about the CIP budget, we would be taking on maybe several 10, we'll say, projects, bringing in the backup. My understanding from the city manager is, in January, maybe to begin some of this process, looking at the system as a whole. We have been piecemealing it. We know that it took almost 4 years to get it up to where we have it efficiently, apparently running in one division. And so I want to make sure as we're going forward and extending this that truly we're getting what we deserve. The costs are out front, because I can go back when I sat up here and brought up all these other costs that were not actually present and before us, that happened on the maintenance and the licensing and those things, but they weren't there at that point. So I want to be confident and comfortable when we're spending ratepayers' monies in these enterprise funds, that we're doing the smart thing, the wise thing, and taking the necessary understanding and appreciation for the systems, how they operate, and what timeline they're going to take to implement, and the success that they're going to provide.
Clara, if it's not approved this evening, what are our options? In other words, is this the only game in town?
At this time, probably is the only game in town, in the sense that is required by us, by our agreement with Baykeeper, to have a ongoing maintained CMMS system. Mainstar discontinued the support of the system last year, and they are not providing system maintenance and technical support if our system is not updated. That means that the city is pretty much on our own. Yes, you can use the system. The system was purchased by us, but Mainstar no longer provides, without update to web-based, technical support for the system itself.
To Mark and Dennis, maybe you could come to the podium real quick. Whoever wants to take it, tell us the advantages of doing this now versus disadvantages, if there are any, of waiting.
Is this on? Good evening, Honorable Mayor and Council. Just to start with a little brief history, for my division, the CMMS has become the heartbeat of our division. We used to do things before in an old-fashioned type of format. It wouldn't be possible to efficiently run the proactive and preventative maintenance of mains, laterals, and manholes, and the chemical root programs without it. We did some of that before, but it was all stacks of papers, and a lot of it was, well, there's 1,900 mainline segments. We've got to do several things to each segment. So it's all being run through this system. In a sense, it's a memory. There's many different fingers or benefits to it, but it's basically running all the things that either it would have took one person or 12 people to remember, and it wouldn't be possible to go back and to efficiently run things the way we're doing now if we didn't have it. It provides information to field crews at their fingertips, which we never had before. Before we'd show up to a house, and unless the resident would tell us what happened, if it's a standby call, we can't call back to the person at the yard to try to get some kind of a history. We have that now, and that history is important because we can kind of pull up and say, okay, well, what's the history for this one location? Did we get stuck in the line before? Is it something that we need to reassess? because now we reassess things. Before it was, well, do we remember who had this call last time? So now it's one-stop shopping for all the information and historical information pertaining to that one location. That also helps out customer service. You know, it's not like we have to ask someone what happened. We know what happened. If we don't know what happened, or let's say we take a certain task to open up a line, well, if we don't have the information before, we can actually cause damage, and we can actually push fluid back into the house, and then therefore it becomes a damaged property. They provide, like I said, it provides one-stop shopping for management, such as cost totals and time, and then we use that for planning our budget. Before, it was more like, okay, we have this, we know what we're going to do, we did it last year, we know this is what's necessary for the next year, but it provides all of that backup now that was all scattered before. For the wastewater division, there's all of those benefits that we've now switched to that we never did before, and if we don't have that, then we're stepping backwards. And just like Clara said before, you notice AT&T, you walk by their trucks, they've got some kind of a system in the cars. The police department, they've got a system in the cars. PG&E, I mean, Comcast, there's information there, and basically, before it was write a piece of paper, bring it in, that gets put in a pile, that pile goes over there. Well, if someone asks me a question, now I can go on and I have an answer for it. Just had it, you know, and with the upgrade, the web-based, it's also going to help to merge with the GIS, so that if someone has a question, if someone calls me and says, well, you know, there's a sewer line and I want to know the setback, well, now I can pull up the map and I can check to see, okay, well, here's where it's at. I know where it's at. I have the information quickly. I don't have to wait to try to get this information or to ask some of the crew. So, in the essence of right now is where we're at. We're not in the past, we're in the future, and for me, and with Clara's recommendation, I believe that it's correct to keep going with what we've started.
All right, thanks.
Workforce.
Anything to add, Mark? We see how anxious you are.
It's a fairly new system to me. I see the benefits with the GIS. So if we have someone out there and we have the GIS there, we have this asset management system, and say we have a leak somewhere in our system, we can actually go to the GIS, and with the technology, we can actually say, okay, we got these certain people out there, we can send them to that area, and that those leaks and the fire hydrant flushing program, all the programs that we have out there can be put in this asset management system, and at the end we can, you know, evaluate it and then have a nice comprehensive budget set up through this system. That's where I see the benefits.
Okay, thank you.
And what he said.
And what he said.
So with, you asked, Mr. Mayor, you asked the question about timing. So if it's versus now, November, the end of November versus January, when all of this system and the CMS in its whole, I'll say, is looked at, we're talking 2 months. So is that a problem?
I don't think from a practical point of view is a big difference if this will be approved today or January. I am just certainly, I will not have any more information in January than now. That's my only challenge, that I gave you a very comprehensive presentation a month ago. I gave you those reports. All of us are here today to give you all of the information what any of us has and you need. I am just challenged by the expectation of what additional information I could provide you in January, and I don't see that. But from a poor timeliness point of view, I really don't think that approving today or in January would take us back on this project.
Okay. Any other, Connie?
Mr. Mayor, if I might, it may be helpful to seek some clarification about the council's expectation for the discussion that we have planned for January about the work program for the coming year. It wasn't staff's recommendation or expectation that we would be undertaking a specific detailed review of the CMMS system in particular, but rather an opportunity to flesh out the work program for the year, identify those priorities, and to give the opportunity for the City Council to provide any additional discussion, questions, or guidance regarding those items that will receive attention over the year. So again, as the director indicated, if there's something in particular that we could additionally provide to the City Council, we're certainly happy to develop that. The detailed information that we provided in October represents a comprehensive review of the investment that the city has already made in the CMMS system, as well as our, at least near term, based on what we know about the costs and the utility of the CMMS system has been provided. So we can certainly review that and/or take any additional comments or direction from the City Council about if you should choose to push this to January, where, again, as the director said, there is just the 2 months of additional time, but we're certainly happy to defer or to proceed, whichever is the council's interest.
Yeah, I can truly appreciate what my colleague wants to learn from it, but I'm from staff when they're saying that there's not much more to present. I'm fully aware of what we should do, as far as reviewing capital projects. Not that $45,000 isn't a major investment, but the larger projects, the construction projects, the infrastructure projects that we need to look at closer in January. This, I think, is a tool that has been proven by one department, and now we've got an anxious department that wants to take advantage of it also. We've got an investment in it, and in short of calling up the real techie up to give me more confidence in improving this, I'm ready to vote to approve it.
Just speaking for myself, the sooner we can get efficiencies on board, the better off we are, especially when we're talking, spending people's water and sewer rates. I think the sooner the better. And given the understanding that we're not going to get a whole lot more information in a couple of months, I certainly want to avoid any types of issues regarding water and sewer. So, action by the council?
I'll introduce the resolution.
Vice Mayor O'Connell.
Aye.
Councilmember Medina.
No.
Councilmember Imera.
Aye.
Mayor Quinn.